Before we get started, I wanted to invite you to check out my free masterclass where I teach you my 3-part formula for YouTube success. If you're ready to finally just get started on your YouTube dreams already, then this masterclass is for you. Click the link below or go to 𝙂𝙀𝘼𝙍masterclass.com to register for free today. Hello and welcome to my series YouTube Sleuth, where I watch popular YouTubers' old videos to see where they came from, how they're doing now, and what they've learned along the way so that maybe you can apply those lessons to your YouTube channels. Does that sound good? Sounds good to me. Let's get started. Today we're talking about 𝙂𝙀𝘼𝙍 Chamberlain. She's a favorite of mine. I love her personality. She's really fun. She's a huge YouTuber. If you haven't heard of her, let me fill you in. 𝙂𝙀𝘼𝙍 Chamberlain has 12 million YouTube subscribers, and she has turned her YouTube career into like an empire. She has a coffee company. She goes to the Met Gala every year now. She models for like Gucci or something. So she's huge and has managed to take a YouTube vlogging career and turn it into this huge empire, basically. She started her YouTube channel about 6 years ago when she was like 15 years old. Yes, she is only 22. Spooky. And it started as just a basic vlog channel, the type of vlog channel that any 15, 16-year-old would start. Day in my life, bopping around, etc. However, 𝙂𝙀𝘼𝙍 Chamberlain brought to vlogging an entirely new style. Like, she created what is now a very common style of vlogging, especially for people around her age. So I wanted to look at the early stuff to show you kind of what that looks like, but also her more recent stuff to show you how she's grown and changed her vlogging style and what you can learn along with it. Let's get into it. So she posted a number of vlogs early on in her channel, and maybe less than a year into posting those vlogs, she posted one called "We All Owe the Dollar Store an Apology." And I believe this is the one that blew up and that kind of skyrocketed her into popularity. From there, I think she befriended a lot of other really huge YouTubers in LA because she lives there, and she did collaborative YouTube videos with them. Like, if you look at her most viewed video, it's one where she's with like the Dolan twins and James Charles, which maybe didn't age super well, but that collaborative spirit is what kind of helped propel the growth that she was already experiencing. So I love to use 𝙂𝙀𝘼𝙍 Chamberlain as an example of how important it is to collaborate if you can with people, if you can find other YouTubers, other creators that you want to make videos with. That can be a really powerful tool for both of you to grow faster. If you want that in your life, you should check out my course, Catalyst Academy. We have the Catalyst Club as part of that, where you can meet other like-minded creators, but you can click the link in the description below if you want to learn more about that. Okay, let's dive in. Let's look at this dollar store video from 𝙂𝙀𝘼𝙍 Chamberlain from 5 years ago.
Listen here, okay? Just sit down, listen. Just listen. I'm disappointed in everybody as the human race. Why, you may ask? As a society, I feel that we're neglecting something. Like, I feel like there's something that we just don't give enough credit. Everybody just looks past this place and just doesn't even like give it the time of day. No one goes in there, you know what I mean? That place is the dollar store. You know, you've probably been in there like once or twice for something like, I don't even know, what would you even go into the dollar store for? Like tissues, decorations for your 7th birthday party. I don't know. The last time that I was in a dollar store was like 7 years ago. And you know what? I'm disappointed in myself. I just completely looked past this beautiful store for 7 years and just never went in again. Why? I don't know. It's so great. Like, I just, like, the stuff that I got, your mind is gonna be blown. I got, like, something like 12 things. Guess how much money I paid? $12. Cause, like, each thing is $1, you know? Makes sense, right? I went in there, had the time of my life. Customer service was impeccable. I'm just not gonna talk anymore. I'm just gonna show you. And hopefully this will inspire you to take a trip to the dollar store so that you can change your own life and really give it the credit it deserves. So let's get into this. So the first thing I got was like one of the first things I saw when I walked in. So I got this Ninja Hero set.
So right off the bat, first of all, really pithy intro. She just pops her name up on the screen for a second and it pops away, and then she dives right into it. And the thing about 𝙂𝙀𝘼𝙍 Chamberlain that I think has reeled 12 million people into subscribing to her is her personality. She lets it fly the second that the camera starts rolling, and it's funny. She has a uniquely very funny personality, and you know, you can't manufacture that. So if you don't have the type of personality that pops on camera like Emma Chamberlain does, that's okay. I think though that she was able to both rely on her editing skills and her personality to go to the top of the vlogosphere, and she did it at a time when vlogging was a very popular thing to do on YouTube. Vlogs are still really popular, however, I don't think that you're gonna see a ton of success if you're just like, a day in my life, and that's it. It needs to have something where it's like, a day in my life as a lawyer, or as whatever your profession is, so that it attracts those types of people, or a day in my life but you're like sharing a hot take, or there's some sort of focal point of it. I think gone are the days when you can just post a day in my life video and get really popular off of it, a la Emma Chamberlain. But I think she was able to do it because her personality is so freaking funny. Even at 17, 16, however old she is here, like, it is so apparent that she's just really funny, and it definitely seems like this is just how she's been her entire life. If that's you, great. If it's not you, also great. The moral of the story here is you need to make sure that you are letting your personality shine through to the camera as you're filming as much as possible. If this were you and you were saying these things, think of how much you would have self-censored in what she was just saying. But she instead just let herself do the verbal upchuck, and then she cut and pasted so it's really choppy, but it's really funny. Also, don't underestimate the power of a good edit. You can be filming something and think like, I don't really know how funny this is, but then once you edit it together, it's even funnier than you could have imagined. At least that's been my experience. And maybe I'm being egotistical and thinking that I'm funny and laughing at my own jokes, but I'm saying the power of a good edit is really, you can't overstate it. And Emma's edits are really great, and the thing that she brought to the table for vlogging that no one else was really doing at the time is all of those jump cuts, all of that zooming in, zooming out. We'll see later in the video, she like zooms in on like her hand as she's throwing something, like really, really close zoom ins without any care for the aesthetic appeal of it. In fact, going for kind of an ugly thing, like zooming really far in so that it's pixelated, or like that zoom where it just kind of kept going right before she started talking about the items. That's like classic Emma Chamberlain, and now you see everyone doing it, so you wouldn't even know that Emma's the one who came up with shit like that unless you are a fan of internet lore like I am. So also don't underestimate the power of a good zoom. It can just in itself be funny. It can add a lot of funny elements to it, and cutting things together and zooming in, those are not difficult things to learn in your editor. In fact, those are the first things you're gonna learn when you start learning how to edit videos. So you don't need special graphic effects and all this other doodahs and bells and whistles to make a funny video, especially if you use cutting and zooming at opportune moments to be funny, if that's what you're going for.
And you might be like, Emma, you know, why would you purchase that? Do you really want to know why I'd purchase this? Are you still confused? If you're still confused as to why I bought this, why are you here? This is the coolest thing I've ever bought in my life. How much did I pay for this? $1. I don't even know what else to say. Like, honestly, this is enough. If you're not already in the car driving to the dollar store after seeing this, I don't know. I'm confused and I'm disappointed. Just in case you're still here and you're not convinced yet that the dollar store is the best thing in the entire universe, I guess I will continue. So the next thing I got is basically a household necessity. What's one of the best things that you keep in your bathroom? I don't know about you, but I'd say Q-tips. Now, this is a handy thing. Look at all these freaking Q-tips, all for $1. That's great and all. No, it gets better. This is frozen Q-tips. Are you kidding me? What more could you ask?
Again, the zooming combined with the really funny personality, that's really all you need. I think this video is also a really good demonstration of like, you don't need, again, to have the most brilliant video idea in the entire world. We talked about this last week with 𝙂𝙀𝘼𝙍's video where he was talking about things you can buy to help save you time, and some of the things were like a waste basket for your office or whatever, like really basic things, but like also helpful, you know? This really basic, not like the groundbreaking stuff. She's showing us what she bought at the dollar store, but she's doing it in a way that's funny, and she's editing in a way that adds to that humor and that is really unique and that keeps you really engaged because she's cutting out all the pauses. She's constantly talking, she's zooming in, she's zooming out. At one point in here, she's adding words that kind of pop up and then disappear, and you're like, wait, what did that even say? And so you have to scroll back and watch again to read it. Like, it's really smart editing, especially considering the fact that she was like 16 at the time. So don't be afraid to play around with the editing, to do goofy shit, and to let your personality shine through, because that is gonna draw people in, even if all you're doing is showing them what you bought at the dollar store.
What could you ask for in a product? Like, Wait a minute. The frozen part is removable, so don't do that at home. Keep it on, just because the frozen part is what makes it good. Everybody loves Frozen. I've never even watched the movie, but...
Okay, we don't need to watch the entire video to get the point. It's fast moving, her personality is very goofy, and she's letting it shine through, and there's a lot of funny editing, especially in the cutting of the clips and then the zooming in, especially the really strong, like very close zoom ins that she does. Those are funny, especially along with like her facial expressions or what she's doing with her hands. It's a very funny addition that you can add to your editing, and it's very simple to do. There's tutorials all over the place on how to do that. Now let's go to her newer videos. There's one, she really doesn't post that often. Here's a thing that happens when YouTubers get really huge. They stop posting as often, because often you can take your YouTube career and launch it into something else. So you don't need to be posting every week to get the ad revenue, to get the views, etc. She has a podcast, she has a coffee line, she is modeling, she's doing all these other things that are making her money. So posting videos on YouTube has kind of turned into what appears to be like a thing that she does whenever she feels like it for fun. And she doesn't appear to often feel like it, because she posted 2 months ago, and then she posted 5 months ago, 8 months ago, 9 months ago. So a lot of times as YouTubers get really huge, they're able to snowball that into another career and they don't post as much. So I wanted to watch this one from England from 5 months ago. Okay, so right away, we can see how much slower this moves, but it's still really engaging. I'm still being transported to this place. And there's really subtle things that she does that are so smart that you can tell that she's really worked on and improved her video editing and creation skills over the years. So for example, that first shot was a really nice establishing shot. That can be a really fun way to create a mood, to show your viewers where you are, to create anticipation, and it doesn't have to move super quickly, which is really interesting to see from Emma, who's someone who has relied on her really hyper personality and really intense jump cuts and zooms and stuff in the past to grow this following, to see how she's grown in her artistry, because it is an art, of video editing throughout the years. Another thing that she did is we get that establishing shot, and then she shows a shot of a carnival poster. And as you're looking at that carnival poster, she fades in the music that's playing at the carnival. So you're shown the poster, and then she's slowly bringing you into that place. She's really good at establishing a sense of place, which is really strong, especially if you're someone who creates vlogs. You want to be able to create a sense of place, and she is so good at it. And so just that her audio, her use of audio and music is really interesting. She picks really cool music. It's not your typical like lo-fi beats that like every person puts on the background of their vlogs. She's really unique with it. So even though she's no longer doing what she did before, she's continuing this pattern of like doing things that no one else is doing on YouTube. And this is why I love her stuff, even though she doesn't post very often and she's this like 22-year-old just kind of being a model and doing her own thing now. I really think she still has this really cool skill. she's really great at telling stories without speaking. Like, she hasn't spoken once yet, but we know she's in England, Bath, England specifically, because she put it right at the beginning. We know she's at a carnival. We know what she's doing with her time while in England without her having to sit down and say, hey guys, I'm in England. First I went to a carnival. You know, she's showing instead of telling in the most showing way that you can show something. She's not even saying a word. She's just showing it visually and using some really cool audio to kind of draw you in. And her shots are still. She's not zooming in, she's not moving, she's not even panning most of the time. It's just a still shot, another still shot, another still shot. And there can be things moving in the shot, but it's a lot of still shots. And it feels slow. It feels a lot slower than her older videos where it was kind of bomb, 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 like constant energy and zooms and stuff, but it still moves at a good pace. If you were to sit and count shot to shot, she's not lingering on a shot longer than like 5 to 7 seconds before changing to another shot. So that's a good lesson as well. If you're making vlogs, you don't have to do really complex pans and you don't need like drone images, and you can keep it really simple with just still shots of the environment, but then move through those shots. Don't sit for 15 seconds on the same shot or 30 seconds. Keep it moving. But you don't have to talk the whole time either. You can do a lot of storytelling just using visual elements, and you should show more than you tell. I think something that's interesting that she's continued from that first video we saw is that this is not groundbreaking. She's not giving us like the 10 things that you should do in Bath, or like the hidden gems in Bath, England, or anything that's particularly groundbreaking. She hasn't done a ton of research. She's not sharing anything that hasn't been shared on YouTube before from an informational standpoint. But she's making this video that's artistic. It's her own. It's what she experienced while she was there, and she's showing it, not just telling it, but she's also not trying that hard in a way that works really well. I don't know how to put my finger on it, but all that to say, your video doesn't need to be the smartest thing, the most groundbreaking thing, the travel video that has the most beautiful drone footage, etc. You don't have to necessarily do all of that to get views, especially if you are going for a more artistic vlogging type vibe where you're just establishing place. Like, I feel like I know what Bath, England feels like because of watching this video, because she's done such a great job of showing all of these shots, using music and sound in a really interesting way, and just living her life there and kind of taking us along for the ride. So it feels like we get this kind of backstage pass into Emma Chamberlain's life when she's not really doing anything groundbreaking. She's just wandering around Bath, England. I think her dad's the one that films all of this for her, drinking coffee, going to a circus. And that's about it. And she made a whole video about it, and it's gotten, what, 3.2 million views. Now, of course, she has 12 million subscribers, so, you know, she's just naturally gonna get more views on any video that she posts, but people are loving it. If you look at the comments section, these vlogs really are feel-good vibes. Absolutely love how chill the camera work and editing is. I feel like I'm traveling with you. I think that perfectly sums up what I'm talking about. She is giving people this pass to come hang out with her, and she doesn't feel the need to have all these bells and whistles. She's not even doing the same kind of editing that she was, though she does do some like close-in zooms. She'll pop some text on the screen and stuff here and there, but it's not as fast-paced as it was before. But it's still interesting because she creates this movement through multiple establishing shots that really help establish place in this vlog that she's creating. I think we get the general idea here. So what have we learned from young Emma and from current Emma, who is still young Emma, technically? So baby Emma, we learned that you really need to let your personality shine through. And you don't have to have like an Emma Chamberlain or like JoJo Siwa huge personality to let it shine on your YouTube channel. You just want to make sure that you're not filtering yourself, that you're not overthinking what you're saying, that you're not trying to be perfect, because that comes across as really robotic on camera. To do this, you can try different things, like you can turn on your camera and start talking to it before you start filming what you actually want to film. You could even tape a picture of your best friend above the camera and act like you're just chatting with them about like the day's gossip. And eventually with practice, you will get more and more comfortable just being on camera and talking. But even if you're not on camera and talking, make sure that you're creating movement by showing your viewers what you're talking about instead of just telling them. And sometimes you can only show them and not tell them, which is what Emma does in her more recent vlogs. The videos that you make do not have to be rocket science. They don't have to be groundbreaking. They can just be about something that you're interested in, and then figure out a way to present it in an interesting way. Don't be afraid to be creative with your editing styles, because if you're the only one doing it, that could create a whole new movement in editing, and that could be started by you. So don't be afraid if you are like, oh, I want to do this thing, but I haven't seen anyone else do it before, or maybe it's dumb. Do it anyway. See what happens. Never underestimate the power of a good edit. Cut things together, move things along quickly, zoom into your face if you want, pop some text onto the screen if you want. You can make it move a lot faster just through your editing. And Emma even does that now with her more recent videos, because she's never lingering for more than 5 seconds on each shot that she has usually. And so that's gonna move it along at a lot faster pace, even if her personality isn't being loud and big 100% of the time throughout the video. Still a really powerful way to keep your viewers engaged. And I think overall Emma Chamberlain is just a really great lesson in not being a perfectionist about who you are and the videos that you make. Emma is a very lovable person. She is goofy, she's funny, she's very imperfect, and she shows that in her videos all the time. And I think that's what really endures people to her. It's what endeared me to her. And so I think that this is a great lesson to not try to be perfect in everything that you're making, and to just start making content and do what feels artistic and fun and fulfilling for you. And don't try to make it perfect, and just do what feels right. And maybe you're not gonna get 12 million subscribers, because I think Emma Chamberlain is like a very specific voice, and she appeared on YouTube in a very specific time when her voice really was able to shine and people latched onto it. So you never know where you're gonna go with it, but she has been wildly successful off a personality and really imperfect, goofy editing. So lean into who you are, do what feels right, be creative, don't be afraid to try new things, and don't overthink it. Just start making content already. And if you need help with that, I have a free Get Started guide at the link down below, and you can check out my 3-part formula for YouTube success, which is my free masterclass, also linked down below. If there's another YouTuber that you would love to see me review on here, please comment that down below. I'm all ears. Good luck with your creating, and I'll see you next time. Bye!